Welcome to the Groundwater Guardian Green Site Program Introductory Webinar. Groundwater Guardian Green Sites is a program of the Groundwater Foundation. Thank you for your interest in the program and your time today. Today's webinar will first look at why is groundwater important, the Groundwater Guardian Green Site program background, the basics of the program, what, who, why, when, and how, sharing the green, and finally getting involved. We're glad to know that you're interested in groundwater and in learning more about the program. So moving on, first and foremost, why is groundwater important? Well, first, it's a drinking water source for over half of the U.S. population. That number is over 90% in rural areas. In addition, we call groundwater the environmental bottom line. It's an important component of the hydrologic cycle, as well as being subsequent to anything that happens on the Earth's surface can impact groundwater below. So we call it the environmental bottom line simply because it is. Agriculture and the world's food supply. Groundwater is used for irrigation across the United States, and it's an important component in feeding not only us here in the United States, but those across the world. Finally, it's also an important component for industry, recreation, and the economy. A variety of different industries rely on groundwater for their production, things like ethanol, paper manufacturing, power production. You may not think of groundwater as being important for recreation, but it does supplement a lot of surface water supplies that we utilize for recreation, as well as being an important component of irrigation for parks, golf courses, and those types of places. Here at the Groundwater Foundation, we use this saying a lot, saying it is because of people that groundwater must be protected, but it is only through the efforts of people that it can be accomplished. Groundwater truly does impact all of us in a variety of different ways, from the food we eat to the water we drink to what we use to clean our homes and clean ourselves, and all those kinds of things. And we're all responsible, really, for protecting it. The Groundwater Foundation offers a variety of different programs to help educate people and protect groundwater in their communities. Groundwater Guardian is the precursor to the Groundwater Guardian Green Site program and another option to get your community involved. Groundwater Guardian works to provide a framework for local action for communities who are interested in doing something related to groundwater but may not know where to start. It provides an opportunity to get communities going down the road or to get them motivated for the long term or at the start. The program supports, recognizes, and connects communities who are taking proactive steps in their communities to educate citizens and protect groundwater. When I say the word community, it really is broadly defined. It's basically anywhere there are people who are interested in groundwater and want to take action to protect it. So a community can be anything from a traditional city or municipality to a county, a watershed, a school, an Air Force base. Like I said, anywhere there are people who are interested in groundwater. The program involves an annual earned designation. Groundwater isn't something that can be protected in a year or 2 years or even 10 years. It's a continuous process. And so to continue to keep communities moving forward in that process, we encourage them to remain in the program year after year after year and sustain those efforts over the long term. The Groundwater Guardian program began in 1994 with just 8 pilot communities. Since then, we've involved over 400 entities of all types across North America in the program. The community team is probably the most important part of the program. It requires communities to get different people from different parts of the community to work together on a common issue of groundwater protection. We require that a community team be made up of citizen representatives, business or agriculture, education, and local government, getting those people from different parts of the communities with different expertise and different resources to come to the table together and work together towards groundwater protection in their community. These teams then work on what we call results-oriented activities based on the needs and interests of that community. Generally, they're grouped into 5 different areas: public education and awareness, conservation, best management practices, public policy, and pollution prevention. In 2006, the Groundwater Foundation received a grant from the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, which was the original funder of the Groundwater Guardian program, to look at ways we could revitalize and help grow the program. And internal discussions and discussion with other experts as part of that project led us down the road to looking at another audience that we could help reach and share a message of groundwater protection. So that led to the development of the Groundwater Guardian Green Site program. This functions as kind of a sister program to Groundwater Guardian, and both are designed to complement and supplement each other. So basically, what is the program? In short, the program was developed to recognize groundwater stewardship, calculate, document, and recognize the benefit of groundwater-friendly practices, and designation in the program is based on earning at least 70% on a program application. The biggest difference between the Green Site and the Groundwater Guardian program is that there is no team required with the Groundwater Guardian Green Site program. So now you know what the program is. Let's talk a little bit about who should get involved. The program is designed for what we call highly managed green spaces, so places that have essentially a lot of green. And when I say highly managed, it can mean two different ends of the spectrum. So a place like a golf course may use a lot of chemicals and use a lot of irrigation and those kinds of things in an environmentally friendly way, but they do use those things to make it highly managed. On the other end of the spectrum is a place like a wellhead protection area that highly manages that area, that space, to make sure those things stay out of it. So really highly managed can mean both those things and anywhere in between. So some of the places that can be included in that are, of course, golf courses, like I mentioned, ball fields, educational campuses, parks, utility areas, and many, many more. Again, anywhere where there's a lot of green and that space is highly managed, and they're implementing some type of groundwater-friendly practices. Since the program began in 2007, we had a variety of different sites get involved in the program, really showing that the Groundwater Foundation is able to educate these different types of sites and that a lot of different types of sites can get involved. Again, anywhere from a golf course to a park, different types of school campuses, wellhead protection areas, education centers, churches, a national monument, theme park, even a zoo. We've been able to reach a variety of different states across the country as well. So we've talked about what the program is and who should get involved. Now talk a little bit about why your site should be involved as a green site. First, the program works to publicly recognize highly managed green spaces for their groundwater stewardship. So to share with your community, your industry, your peers, the things that you're doing on your site to help protect groundwater. It's also an opportunity for managers of those highly managed green spaces to educate themselves, site staff, and site visitors about groundwater. The program's application in and of itself is an educational tool, and site managers can then use that knowledge to share with their staff and their site visitors. In addition, the program documents the environmental benefit of each site's groundwater-friendly practices. Essentially, it puts numbers with each practice to help show the real impact these practices can have on water resources. So, for example, pounds of fertilizer reduced, gallons of water saved, and those types of things, really showing the impact that these types of sites can have on water resources. It also encourages a sustained use of groundwater-friendly practices on highly managed green spaces. Much like the Groundwater Guardian program, the program revolves around a yearly earned designation. Again, since groundwater protection is ongoing, the program remains ongoing and encourages sites to sustain those uses over the long term. The program also provides an opportunity for positive public relations, not only for the site, but for the industry as well and for our community. Sites that are designated in the program have the exclusive use of the Groundwater Guardian Green Site logo and the name. Sites receive a plaque and a road sign bearing the Groundwater Guardian Green Site logo. There really is a small time investment to get involved. Site managers have expressed to us it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to complete the application, in some cases a little more in order to find some of the environmental impact numbers, but truly a relatively small time investment to get involved in the program. The program is currently free of charge. We do encourage sites to help the Groundwater Foundation underwrite any program costs by becoming Groundwater Foundation members, but that is not required. I'd like to throw in some quotes here that some participating green site managers have shared with us showing how they felt in their experiences in getting involved in the program. So participating site managers see how their practices impact water resources. Jen Rober, the Assistant Athletic Turf Manager for Haymarket Park in Lincoln, Nebraska, said, "The green site application made me think about all the ways what we do impacts water. I hadn't really thought about our operation in that way before." The Green Site program demonstrates a commitment to environmental stewardship. Elton Nolde, the superintendent of Bayside Golf Course in Brule, Nebraska, says water is a precious resource, and we need to let our neighbors know that we do everything we can to manage our water use wisely. The program also prompts site managers to examine their operation and groundwater-friendly practices. Bill Beek, the superintendent at Heritage Hills Golf Course in McCook, Nebraska, said, as a golf course manager, I've always been cognizant of the importance of groundwater protection and usage. At a time when our industry and others are being scrutinized for environmental practices, the Green Site program is a non-invasive program of self-evaluation. It is a proactive approach that demonstrates to the public an awareness and a commitment to a future of sustainable ecology. So the next step, you know what it is, you know who should get involved, and you know why. Now you want to know when to get involved. Site managers who are applying for first-time Green Site status can submit their applications to the Groundwater Foundation at any time. It can be submitted by email, fax, or mail, which I'll provide those addresses at the end of the webinar. Applications must be submitted by December 31st to be designated in that program year. The program operates on a calendar year basis. In subsequent years, rather than filling out the entire application again, site managers can simply review and update site information as needed. We provide a review form for site managers to complete just to make sure everything is current, update any environmental impact numbers, and so on and so forth. Green sites are also recognized nationally by the Groundwater Foundation throughout the year. The foundation sends out news releases, adds information to our website and various publications. Also, recognition is provided through the foundation's conferences as well as webinars. While national recognition is nice, local celebration of recognition is also an important component and is encouraged. If no one on the local level sees the national recognition, it doesn't do a lot of good. So we encourage sites to really publicize their recognition on the local level as well. So how to get involved. You've heard what it is, who should be a green site, and why your site should get involved, and now we'll explain how to get involved. First and foremost, completion of a simple application. The application is available in hard copy or electronically on the Groundwater Foundation's website. And all information submitted to the Groundwater Foundation is confidential. We won't share any site score without that site's explicit permission. Designation as a green site is based on earning 70% of total applicable points. When I say total applicable points, that basically means any question that you may answer not applicable to won't penalize your overall score. For example, there are several questions dealing with wells, and if your property or site does not have any wells, those obviously won't apply to you, and not answering those questions will not penalize you as far as points. So the application functions to document internal and external education efforts. As an educational organization, the Groundwater Foundation wants to know how sites are working to educate themselves about groundwater-related resources, as well as working to educate site staff, and if they're doing anything to educate site visitors about these resources and what the site is doing to protect it. The program also works to uniformly evaluate site practices. Basically, site managers can see where their practices rate based on the number of points that each item is worth, and all sites do use the same application. Perhaps most importantly, the program documents the impact of groundwater-friendly practices. We ask for real numbers. For example, there are environmental impact items for each question. So basically, we're asking for numbers on those things. And that allows the Groundwater Foundation to show an overall program impact. In 2008, some of the numbers that we received from sites, that sites documented a reduction of roughly 100,000 pounds of fertilizer, a reduction in pesticide use of 38%, and a savings of 224 million gallons of water. So we're able to get those numbers and show that these types of sites are really having a positive impact on water resources. We would like just best estimates on numbers, not necessarily down to the decimal point, but this information is important to provide. So sharing the green. We want sites to use the designation to their benefit and share it with others. And so we've come up with some suggestions to help sites do that. Now, first, we want to shed a positive light on your site and your industry, draw positive attention to the things that you're doing on your site. Joining the green movement. As much as we hate to say it, being green is very trendy, and now is a good opportunity to take advantage of that to draw new visitors to your site as well. People are looking to support green sites, and getting involved in the Green Site program is a great way to do that. communicate your site's groundwater and environmental stewardship. You know, many people in your community may not be aware of what you're doing. They may just see you out watering and fertilizing, et cetera, and see those as bad things, but they may not know the whole picture and know that you're acting on behalf of groundwater. So getting involved in a Green Site program can be an easy way to help do that. And it doesn't have to be anything that's time-consuming or complicated. Just getting involved in a Green Site program is a great way to show your efforts and commitment to being green and being a groundwater steward. So to help sites spread the word about what they're doing, we've developed Share the Green, making the most of your Groundwater Guardian Green Site designation. This is a PR toolkit that's provided to all designated green sites to help get you started. The Foundation does send out a news release once a site is designated to kind of help get the ball rolling. And we understand that site managers, of course, are turf experts, not necessarily PR experts as well. If your site does have a PR or marketing person, it's a great opportunity to share this kit with them, get involved with them in ways you can promote your designation. Otherwise, the ideas in the kit are simple enough that you can use them yourself to help spread the word. There's a news release template, suggestions for having any local celebration, other ways to use the logo, et cetera, in the kit, just to help you spread the word in your community about the good things that you're doing. We've seen sites really implement some creative and innovative practices. These can have a huge positive impact on groundwater and other resources. And so I wanted to share just a few of the sample best practices that sites have done. You know, simple things, even from just converting to drought-tolerant grass, increasing wildlife habitat in no-mow zones, a little more complicated things, using recycled water, installing rain gardens. All these types of things can have a major impact on water resources on a site. Some of the lessons learned from the program since it began in 2007 with 7 pilot sites. The practices that these sites are implementing benefit source water protection efforts. Since 50% of the U.S. population use groundwater for drinking water, the practices that are being implemented by these sites can really help protect that resource. The application serves as an educational tool. An evaluation done at the end of 2008 pointed out that site managers really appreciated the educational value of the program, that as they were working through the application, they could see that their site was earning 5 points on a certain issue, but if they changed their practice, they would earn 10 points, as well as improve their site's practices' impact on groundwater. So it really did show that it was an educational tool as well. And we learned that sites are already doing a lot of really good things, and the Green Site program can help encourage their sustainability over the long term. The program has shown us that sites can be green and beautiful and also be groundwater stewards. So how do you become a green site? First, as I talked about, complete and submit the Green Site program application, which is available in hard copy or online. And as you're working through the application, if you have any questions or concerns, you can visit our website to learn more and see frequently asked questions, or communicate with Groundwater Foundation staff by calling 402-434-2740 or emailing guardian@groundwater.org. Foundation really is here to help you work through any issues you may have with the application. A subsequent webinar will also be available to help walk you through the application item by item. Thank you for your time today and your interest in the Groundwater Guardian Green Site program. Please feel free to contact us or visit our website. You can contact us at 1-800-858-4844 or visit us on our website, which is www.groundwater.org.